makeup. I like to use tape on the corner of their eyes to kind of help create that sharp line. And what I'm doing with Haley's, open her eyes. I'm kind of scooting it under her bottom lashes to the corner of her eye, and I'm using the corner of her eye to the corner of her brow as my guide. It will vary from kid to kid on where you need to put this. I highly recommend playing around with the makeup and tape before the day of the event, just so you have more of an idea of where it needs to go. On the eyeshadow, I like to use some kind of a barrier cream as far as like an eyeshadow primer, concealer, foundation. You can use whatever you recommend. I'm using today this Touch Minerals from Unique, but you can use whatever you have at home and just cover her lid with it. And what this is going to do is just prevent from that eyeshadow stick staining, because it will stain. It will come off, but it will stain. Alright, close your eye. I just kind of go with the crease of Haley's eye, like around her eyeball, and kind of feel. You don't want to take it too far up, because you don't want them to look like Mimi from Drew Carey. And just fill it in. Again, if you follow the crease in her eye, it will give you a guide as to where it needs to go. Okay, open your eye. And then kind of use your best judgment if you need to go up a little bit more. And if you mess up, it's okay. Have like Q-tips with you, and you can kind of go in and edge it and smudge it out to where it needs to be. Open your eye a little bit. There you go. You want it to be just a little bit over whenever she opens her eye, so you can see it a little bit, but you do not want to take it all the way up to her brow. Close your eye. You can use these eyeshadow wands. You can get them at Walmart, Sally's. It's nice to have those so you can kind of get in and do some cleaning up and smudge those edges out. For the smoky, you can use any black. This is just a random palette that I pulled out of my makeup case just for the black shadow. Basically, you can get it CoverGirl, Elf, Wet n Wild, whatever is going to work best for you. And what I do is I just go in and I tap, kind of giving it a little cat eye, but right in her corner, I just like to barely go in and tap it. It seems to blend better if you pat it in there instead of trying to scoot it. And then bring it down around to her lash.
Okay, guys.
Alright. And this side, same thing.
Close. Don't you give those. Sorry. It's the creepiest. Don't do that.
Take them downstairs, Jess.
I am.
Or go downstairs and try to see.
I'm there.
And if you need to, you can easily go back over with your teal shadow if you go too far over by accident, and just kind of, again, just tap it. Let me see you. Then what I like to use for her top lid is a nude color. I would stay away, you can see it's very, very nude. It's a matte. I would try to stay away from anything with a shimmer or a white especially if you're not comfortable with this. Stay away from any shimmer, glitter, because what that's gonna do is when it hits this black, if you're not comfortable with blending and smudging, it's going to make like an ashy gray. And with this nude color, and you can even use like a powdered foundation if you can't find the right nude, but it's just going to soften those lines from the blue and that black. And you'll always have one eye that you like better, I feel like. There you go. All right, look at Sam. Look good?
Mm-hmm.
All right, and then liners. I like a liquid pen liner. Not yet. A liquid pen liner, as you can see. And make sure you get a waterproof. See, it's a liquid pen, waterproof. And then I just take lightly the corner and pull it over. Still leave that tape on there because that's going to help create that sharp edge. Look at the difference. And you see how the tape is catching all that extra residue right there. Just right at her lash line. And if you mess up, it's okay. Just let it dry. And then you can smooth it back out with your teal. Just buff right over it. There you go. Take your tape off, Haley. Oh, come on, Grandma. Here, look at me. You okay? Open your eye. And if you have any little dusting, or if you need to smooth that edge out a little bit more, just kind of go in and do your detailed work if you need to. Close your eye. I messed up on that eye. It's okay For the bottom lid, this is optional. You don't have to do this.
And if your kid is a crier and not used to makeup, I prefer you not do it, especially for our little ones. It's not worth the tears on competition day.
But if you do, make sure you get a waterproof. All right, open your eye. And I don't take it all the way over. I just kind of go with the corner right there. All right, open your eye, Haley. It just kind of brings that smoky eye down a little bit, and I feel like makes it pop a little bit better. And if you get too much, it's okay. Get your Q-tip or your eyelash wand or your shadow wand and just kind of buff it up a little bit and smudge it into that corner. And then especially like in their corners right here, if it's down a little bit, you can kind of take it and wound it up to blend it. For their brows, you can use like a brow mascara. My favorite is this Gimme Brow from Benefit. You can get this at Sephora, but you don't have to use this. This just came in my Ipsy bag and I fell in love with it. But if they have very light brows, I recommend putting something over their brow just to define it. If you don't have a brow gel, you could also use a very fine eyeshadow brush with a brown shadow. Also, bronzer and blush is optional. I went ahead and put some on Haley. It just defines them a little bit better on stage and doesn't make them look so pale or washed out. Lips. What I like using, what I fell in love with so far is Lip Sense. It stays on way better than most of the, can you see it?
Mm-hmm.
Most of the lip liners or the lip stains that we have used before in the past. Something else that people like to use also is the Sephora Red. I think it's 01 from Sephora. This is like $13, $14-ish, but it's, the color doesn't look too, it's pretty close for the most part. But I personally, my personal preference is the Lip Sense. This will not come off as easy as most drugstore or the other lip stains that you find. I found that this stays on a lot better. Especially if your child crosses, you definitely don't, sometimes there's not a lot of time to touch up, so you definitely want to make sure whatever brand of lip stain that you find stays on. I do not recommend a lipstick at all. They come off way too easy, and our shoes, bows, uniforms are way too expensive to have that lipstick stain them or ruin them. So definitely find a good lip stain that you like that will not, that does not come off. And you want the brightest red that you can possibly find. The tingle. Oops, messed up. Alright, close your mouth. Let me see. And with the Lip Sense, you definitely want to make sure you use the gloss and coat it. But with a Sephora, you will not need to use a gloss over top of it. It's got its own gloss built into it. And if you do mess up and get out of the lines a little bit, if you use the Sephora, have like a makeup remover and a Q-tip on hand. If you use the lip scents, have the Oops remover.